Hey everybody, I am hopping on really, really quickly to have a conversation with you all. I ain't gonna hold y'all. I should not be. What's that on my glasses, y'all? Yeah. I should not be on this call with y'all. I should not be on this call with y'all. I'm supposed to be packing. I'm supposed to be packing. I am leaving for DC in the morning. I don't know if any of y'all know, but during the month of March, April, they have their cherry blossom season. And I'm going up there to partake. And my cousin stays up there, so I'm gonna go up there and visit her for a little bit. But oh, and I got about 15-20 minutes before I am in trouble. Okay. So I have an idea of what I'm gonna pack, so that kind of puts me in a good space, right? Right. But I want to talk to you guys because I got off of the phone with a client and she hit me with that thing that you guys love to say. You guys love to say it. I don't have enough experience to start a business. And so I had to get her in check. I had to get her in line. And something told me, you know what? A lot of y'all, a lot of y'all be on that. So we're going to have a conversation about this thought process that you guys are going through when it comes to moving over from call center work into entrepreneurship, starting your own business, starting your own service based business. Okay, so I'm going to go into it and I'm going to talk about it. I'm going to try not to speed through it. But when I tell y'all I should not be on this call, I'm supposed to be packing and I have not packed anything. If you saw my desk right now, my desk is disgusting. But neither here nor there. Neither here nor there. Um, if you see me looking off to the side, I am looking at an outline. I need an outline, y'all. If I don't have an outline, I'm going to be talking about call center entrepreneurship. I'm going to talk about how my day went. I'm going to talk about how my job went. I'm going to talk about my daughter, my mother, my cousins, my brothers, and my best friend. I need an outline. Okay. So y'all gonna see me look over to the side, and that is what I'm doing. I'm looking at my outline to kind of keep me on track. Okay. But I am hearing this too often, y'all, that you don't have enough experience. And my question to you then becomes, what do you think you've been doing this entire time? Yes, maybe not thinking about a business per se, but what you are doing in that business is exactly what people do when they have their own business. It's the same exact thing. Okay. So if you have these thoughts, I want you to know that you are not alone. The majority of you all feel this way. Okay. You know what? I forgot to put my phone on D&D. And now look. You know, people only text you when you're busy doing something. And look at me reading it. That's so sad. Let me cut this off because that's going to distract me. And that's not what I'm looking for. Okay. Okay. So, when it comes to not believing that you have enough experience to be in the entrepreneurship space, that only comes from the fact that you believing that, well, you don't believe you have it, but also because you have been surrounded by people who either feel the same way that you feel or they don't value what you are doing at that job. Now, mind you, is that something that is common? Yes, unfortunately. It's jobs appreciating the value you bring to the actual job or to the company is something that is so common that it's quite sad. But here we all are, right? So understanding the value of what you bring to that business or to that department in the business needs to be looked at a little more strategically. A little, we need to put like a little magnifying glass on that concept, okay? And you know what? Because if I don't put this on D&D, and I said I was gonna do it, and I didn't do it. Okay, hold on. Ooh, let me not do that. Okay, so we're gonna go over communication, We're going to go over problem solving, we're going to go over systems management, and we're going to go over professionalism under pressure. Let's start with professionalism under pressure because, as we all know, when y'all are on the phones, them people are acting up, okay? And I don't know if any of y'all really know, but well, not y'all know your calls are recorded, right? And you can get to big trouble whether it's your tone, whether it's what you said, whether it's a noise you made. I can't tell you how many times I've had agents that I work with. You know, if you huffing and puffing, okay, hold on. If you're huffing and puffing, I'm not mad about the huffing and puffing. I'm mad you didn't put yourself on mute before you went to huffing and puffing. Okay, they don't need to hear the huffing and puffing. Now, if you need to put them on mute to do the huffing and puffing, sometimes it is necessary in order for you to come back to the phone to be able to hone yourself in, to be able to finish the call and whatever they need or whatever needs to be done, looked at, or scheduled for the person on the call. Okay, so I'm not mad about the huffing and puffing, but having that piece of skill to be able to keep professionalism the entire time is a underrated skill. Okay, when you are on the phones with customers and it's not face to face, right? It's a phone call. I feel like they can tell more often than not if there's a problem, if there's an attitude, if you just really don't want to. Right now, yes, in person they can tell as well, right? But I feel like when it's over the phone, certain senses are a little more heightened than it would be if they was in person for them to be able to tell if there is a problem, if you have an attitude, which is why they always stress the fact of sound like, no, not sound like, they tell you to smile while you're talking to them because they can hear the smile over the phone. And the reason why they can hear the smile over the phone is because their senses are heightened, because it's not a visual situation here. They are just listening to you over the phone. So any noise, any sudden movement, any of that, they can kind of really hone in on that. And that's not what we want. What am I saying? You see what I'm saying? Like, the devil's busy. Yeah, he busy. Okay, so professionalism under pressure, that is something that is big because them people on the phone, they will test you. Every piece of you they will test. They will tell you stale horrible jokes and you got a fake laugh. Oh my god, I used to hate that fake laugh. Right, you know, at the end of the call, oh my god, the part I used to hate. At the end of the call, they used to say to them, is there anything else I can help you with? Right. And I don't know if any of y'all ever dealt with it, but I dealt with it all the time. They would say, yeah, you can give me $1 million." Crickets. Is there anything else I can help you with? Because you really on my line and like, I got other calls holding. I'm looking at 80 calls holding and you playing. Like, get off my line. Anywho, so professionalism under pressure is huge. It's huge. A lot of people don't have it. And if you don't have that, if you think you're going to be able to run a business and be able to keep clients and customers happy and keep people coming back to you and retain your customers that you currently have and be able to get new ones with attitude, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen, okay? Systems management, okay? We spoke about this a couple of times. The phone system is different than the system used to look up customers' accounts, which is different from the system that they use to do your QA audits, which is different from the system you use when it comes to looking into your stuff, whether it's benefits or whatever, and clocking in or out. All of these things are different, and you have to work with those things simultaneously, right? So if you have the software needed to have the phone call, you got to know how to use that software, right? You got to know how to pick up the call, hang up the call, put the call on hold, come back to the call. You have to know on the system how to put a person on hold to call somebody else, to speak to them, to hang up with them, to come back to the first call and not hang up on them. You also have to know how to warm transfer. Now, my ladies in call center, y'all know what I mean by warm transfer versus cold transfer, right? Warm transfer means you put somebody on hold, you call who they need to speak to, you get them on the phone, you say, hey, I have a person on the line. They need this, that, and the third. They're going to say, okay, cool. What's their information? So, a warm transfer is when you are getting ready to transfer a call over, but you speak to that person first to give them all of the information that they're going to need in order to help that customer. Now, a cold transfer is when you just transfer them over and the person who's receiving the call don't know nothing about this person, don't know what is going on. Okay, that's most of the time in most companies that I've worked with, that's a huge no no. You don't code transfer because now that customer or client has to now retell their story all over again to the new person, and all you had to do was tell them a brief moment of what was going on and give them the account information, allow them to have that pulled up before you transfer the call over. And then usually a warm transfer also includes you merging both calls and you saying, ma'am, I'm passing you off to so and so. They'll be able to help you. And then you leave the call and you let them continue on, right? Those are all systems, y'all, that you are simultaneously working at the same time in order to give a smooth, effortless service to customers and or clients. Phone, accounts, transferring calls, hanging up on calls, holding calls, all that are different softwares that you have to be able to manage simultaneously at the same time and be able to make it like it's just a smooth process. And we know it's not. How many times have you had to put somebody says, I'm sorry, y'all, my system is moving really, really slow. It's not the phone system that's moving slow because you're already on the phone. It's the other systems that are moving slow, and you have to wait for them to load in order for you to continue on the conversation or continue the call, right? Systems management is big because majority of y'all are handling at least three, at least three different softwares when you're on the phone talking to these people. Okay, so don't underestimate that skill. Some people they can't do both, and it's not even with costing. That's period. At the grocery store, when you're walking with your cart, there's people who they can't walk with the cart, see what they're looking for, and not be in the way for everybody. They be in the middle of the aisle. Leave the cart. Nobody can get by. Does that make any sense? No, it doesn't make any sense. Some people can't. That's why people don't. They don't. That's why probably why it's illegal. People can't talk on the phone and drive. It's something wrong with the noggin. Everybody can't do that. So a human doing more than one thing at a time is a skill. Okay, so embrace that skill. That is a skill. Okay, next is gonna be problem solving. Right, whether it is a problem that you know how to solve and you were trained on how to solve, and other ones you have to think of off top of your dome to be able to solve the problem, right? Um, whether it is fixing the account, crediting the account, fixing the appointment, making the appointment, putting the person on hold, calling around to see who can help, to get them over to the right person, for them to be able to help them because they keep calling and I never can get anybody and nobody will call me back. And then you end up being the one on the call with this person, going through the entire process with them, right? Because everybody else they've spoken to has gotten off the phone with them and then nobody calls them back, which is why sometimes you deal with people who be like, I'm not hanging up, I'm staying on the phone. You're like, all right, cool. Like, I'm not about to go back and forth with you, whatever, right? Problem solving is big, and problem solving efficiently and problem solving, I don't want to say quickly, but being able to solve a problem within a certain amount of time is also a skill. That's you thinking on your feet. You are thinking on your feet while you are also having regular, continuous conversation with the person who's on the phone. Remember, you can't have no dead space. What they call dead air? You can't have no dead air on that phone. They want there to be a continuous conversation while you're trying to look up into the chart and figure out what's going on, or look into the account to then figure out what you can do to rectify the situation, whether it was a bad call on a previous employee who told them something wrong, or they didn't do something right and you have to fix it. Problem solving as a whole is a beautiful skill set to have, and that's for any business, whether you own it or you are working for a business. Problem solving and being able to do that all on your own and not having to involve either upper management or another department, that is a skill. Don't let anybody else tell you differently, right? And then communication with the customer slash client, communication with your team, communication when it comes to you notating the account on what was previously done, what did you do with the person, and then what needs to be done on the back end when you are no longer on the phone with the person. And sometimes that requires you doing those notations on the phone with the client or customer, and sometimes it includes you getting off the phone with them to then put yourself in a certain release code to be able to finish those notes. Because baby, when I tell you, when I used to write notes in people's accounts, I wrote them bad boys verbatim. I'm talking about, I had a script in them notes. I had quotation marks. She said this, and then I said this, because I wasn't playing, y'all. I wasn't playing. Y'all not about to have the errors team hitting me up talking about some, oh, you you did this wrong on this person's account. No, I didn't. Check them notes, boo. Check them notes. I know for a fact I did that correctly. And if you hit me up about something that I worked on and you tell me I did something wrong, baby, I know you ain't look at them notes. Ain't no way you look at them notes, because I write notes down in them accounts, because I don't want no problems, right? Everybody doesn't know how to communicate. I feel like that's a known fact around period. Everybody doesn't know how to communicate. They don't know how to notate an account. They're speaking in way too many abbreviations. Nobody knows what you're even talking about. Some people don't even leave. They leave no notes. It be blank, and you be like, oh, what am I supposed to do with this? That gives you more things to do. But communicating, problem solving, systems management, and professional under pressure, those are key things to what you need in entrepreneurship, y'all. Key things you need in running your own business, y'all. So if you can do it here under the pressure, under the metrics, under the guidelines and what they expect from you, you think you can't do it for yourself? You can. So, um, and those are only four things, y'all. Listen, the list goes on. The list goes on about other things that you are doing at that job every single day, and you're not even thinking about it. That's the thing. You're so good at it. You're so good at it that you don't even recognize how important and how valuable that it is, and that everybody can't do that. Everybody can't do it. So, um, like I said, I'm not, I wasn't trying to be on here too long, but I was saying that I had a call with a client and she was going into how she doesn't have enough experience to do it. And I had to break them down in sections for her, like, no, like, and these are only the four of the things that me and her spoke about. We spoke about a lot more to kind of help her understand and be able to visually see what I'm talking about when I'm saying that she actually does have it. She actually does have it. And I listen, the ones who are on the phones, your supervisors, the QA team, workforce, directors, man, all the people who are you know telling you what to do and how to do it and when to do it and all those they can't do what you're doing. Just know that they can't do what you're doing. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying, right? So If you are stuck in this space, please, I don't want to say please get out of it because that sounds crazy, right? If you can get out of it, I think you would. I want you to write down everything you do. I mean from start to finish, whether it is you click this button to accept the call, you give your intro, they tell you what they're looking for, you repeat back to them what they are looking for, you tell them that you can help them do. I want you to write everything down in detail and then take a really, really, really good look at it. And I want you to then pull out from that all the things that you are doing simultaneously on one phone call. And if you do it, I want you all to do it, right? If you do it, I would really love it if you would put in the comments all of what you come up with as far as what all you're doing on that phone call. Please put in the comments. I would love to read the comments to see what all y'all are doing because I promise you, you're doing like 5 to 10 to 15 different things on these calls. Please don't negate that or undervalue that. Don't do that. I do have a couple of tools that you guys can use if you would like to look into it a little further, right? So I have the 30-minute offer map, which is if you look at the link that's going to be in the description. If you click on that link, it's free, y'all. It's free. Now I'm gonna need that email, but it's free. But it's a 30-minute offer map. It helps you map out an offer that you can do, right? Because it's all about taking those skills, those transferable skills, and putting them into a service-based business for you to be able to call your own, right? So it helps you map out those offers, right? That is for free. We also have I have a list of 50 service-based businesses that you can start for under $100. That's also available. Take a look at the list of things that I have. Also, there's a calculator, an interactive calculator that's available as well that will help you when it comes to pricing your service. A lot of y'all struggle with that as well. What to price it, right? There's an interactive calculator that's available for you to take a look at in the link as well. Okay. Anything else on there you see, you can obviously hop in, whether it's a one-on-one consultation call with me, whether it is you want to email me and ask me a question. Please feel free to take a look at the link. I look forward to working with you all, or at least helping you get clarity on your value and what you bring and how that can be transferred into your own thing. Okay, so y'all be easy. I am pushing it. I have to get these clothes out the dryer and pack this suitcase, okay? Because I'm really, really bugging. Okay, so I will talk to y'all later. But until then, y'all keep up with what you're doing because you're doing an amazing job. And what you have to offer is more than what they are paying you. Okay? Talk to y'all later.